Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. You are checking out my top 5 ways to grind gold in ESO video. And let me just start off by saying I don't think there's one best way or best spot to grind gold in the game because it really depends on you and how you like to play. Nobody wants to be stuck doing things one way. Otherwise you're just going to be bored and it's not going to be fun at all. So in this video I thought I would share 5 ways that I have found to get a good amount of gold in the game. They are pretty quick, pretty easy, and they won't bore you to death. And you can just go from one to the other and see what you like. So these are my top 5 ways to grind gold. Check it out, you might learn something new. So coming up first, we've got the tried and true method of stealing goods and killing innocents. And what's good about this is that you can actually do this at level 1 in ESO. Without any extra skill points, without any extra skills, you can just go around cleaning out dressers and cabinets and desks and actually make a fair bit of cash for your characters early on. And these items actually sell more as a level 1 player than any of the weapons or armor that you'll pick up along the way. There is a limit to how many items you get to sell each day, but you can get around this by spending some skill points to raise the cap, or even stealing on more than one character. And lastly, you can add even more loot to this by killing off those innocent civilians as you go. You'll need the Dark Brotherhood DLC to do this, and you'll need to start the main quest in the Thieves' Den at your main faction. Up next, let's talk about farming treasure chests in the overland zones. This method is great, but a few things you need to know first. Number 1, you'll want to unlock the treasure hunter passive for better quality loot. And number 2, you'll want to be at least CP 160. The reason why is because you are going to be selling what you get from these chests, and nobody's going to buy a piece of gear that's under CP 160. What are you looking for? Well, basically purple jewelry still sells really well, even with Somerset jewelry crafting. You'll also be able to make a lot of money from things like infused weapons, sharpened staffs, things like that. As you can see, one of the other benefits of doing overland farming is you obviously get a lot of crafting nodes. If you're a crafter, you can get some mats from that. And this is what you're looking for. The master chest gives you 2 items if you have treasure hunter CP. Sometimes purple jewelry, which as I mentioned can sell for 20 to 30k if you have the right set. And speaking of the right set, make sure you do your research first. Check the guild traders. See what overland sets are selling the best. Right now I would say spinners and spriggans are doing the best, so you definitely would want to look in those zones first. Running through the zone close to a mountain ridge or along the beach seems to be one of the best ways to pick out treasure chests. And if you want an example of a route that I use in Glenumbra, pause the video in 3, 2, 1. So if you do any PvP in the game, you can actually trade in those alliance points that you earn for items that you can then sell to other players. A great example of this is the golden vendor that appears in Cyrodiil every Friday. These golden jewelry sets can sell for quite a lot to players if the right ones come up. You'll want to avoid, though, the 500k jewelry. Those are dungeon sets. They are bind on pickup, so you can't sell those. Don't try it. What you're looking at is the 300k drops. These are overland sets, and again, if something good comes up, like Spriggans, which came up this past week, definitely grab a few of those if you have the AP and try to sell them in a guild trader. You can make anywhere from 80 to 100 to 150,000 gold on a single item, depending on how popular it is and how long you wait to sell it. Coming up next, it's dolmen farming, baby, and I know what you'll say. Nobody wants purple jewelry anymore. We can just craft our own purple. And from what I've found, that's really not the case. A lot of players don't have the time to grind up jewelry crafting skill line or to grind the mats to do that, and so they'll still be willing to pay 20 or 30,000 gold for a piece of purple jewelry as long as it's the right set. So again, you want to make sure you are at least CP 160, and you want to make sure that you are farming good locations, good sets. Again, all the popular things, spinners, spriggans, werewolf hide, etc. And, well, what else is good about this? There's actually a lot of things. You can get a lot of champion points, grinding experience here. You can get decent loot. You can get Fighters Guild experience. And if you are a crafter, all the other jewelry pieces that you get, because every dolmen drops jewelry, all those pieces can be deconstructed to get you mats for your own jewelry crafting and to even level up the skill line. So overall, dolmen farming, love it or hate it, still a really good way to get gold in the game. And my final pick for grinding gold in the game is going to be farming public dungeons. And let's talk about why. So first would be mobs here can drop a lot of gold. Specifically, if you're farming humans or Imperials, they drop the most gold. You can see from 150 gold to about 200 per group. And a dungeon can have something like 8 to 10 groups that you just run through, you loop through them in about 1 or 2 minutes, and you'll just get tons of gold that way. On top of this, you can farm heavy sacks for materials. You can farm these bosses for weapons. They do drop weapons, and sell those on the open market. So there's just a lot of opportunity in these public dungeons to get gold and to get things that sell for gold. On top of this, you'll also get a pretty decent experience. I like learning the different spawn rotations and working my way through a dungeon and figuring out the best way to farm the mobs. I don't know. I'm weird though, so whatever. Try it out, see what you think. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for my top 5 ways to make gold in ESO. Remember, it's just my top 5. I know you might do something different. That's okay, I'm cool with that. I just wanted to throw out some ideas for players at all different levels, just different ways to make gold in the game. I don't think there's one best way to do it. I think it depends on your play style, how you like to play, and you need to find something that works for you. So hopefully this gave you some ideas. Let's continue the discussion in the comments below. And just a quick thanks to all my recent subscribers, everybody who has shown their support on the channel. I really appreciate you. And if you haven't subbed to the channel yet, why the heck not? It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and there's more videos that come out every week. So until then, thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.